this on stream, so that way I can send it to you. I'm going to make it a relatively short stream, but with a lot of info so you can see it.
Okay.
As far as training goes, I'm just going to run through them on my screen so I can send them to you guys. But as far as training packs go, the codes are over here on the right. These are all my training packs. And this is going to get sent to our group, whoever wants to see it. I know I'm going through them kind of fast, but whoever's watching this, you can just kind of pause it on whichever one I'm on, or on YouTube you have the option to slow it down in 2.5 and then pause it if I'm going a little bit too fast for you. You can just take down the codes and then go over here to browse, and then where it says enter code down bottom of the screen here, where it says press square, you press square, and it'll allow you to enter the code that you see on the right hand side right above play and favorite. And usually I just favorite whatever these are, and these are what I run through most of the time. As far as free play shit goes, I use this here map, where is it? This here map for about everything I do.
Which map?
You'll see. I'm going to put you into it in a regular game.
Okay.
But I use this. So what I'm going to showcase to Charles here in a minute, I'm just going to go through briefly right here, is I have an air roll bound, a free air roll, so that means I have to use my air roll button while moving the stick in the direction I want to air roll, and that is bound to drift, which I recommend for everybody. I have an air roll left bound and an air roll right bound, and what I'll do here is I'll do in the air through these pillars right here. I'll try and stay in the air and go in through a figure 8 motion at least like 5 to 10 times with ball cam on, and then when I do that I'll go through 5 to 10 times, still no air rolling, ball cam off, and then I'll repeat the process for each air roll. So you should be looking at doing this, if you're trying to perfect each one of these things like I try to do, you should be looking at doing this about, repeating the process, I'd say 8 times, I think the math is right there. One for each air roll and then one for fucking no air roll, and then each one ball cam on and off should be a total of 8 times for each process. There's a couple other drills I run on this map. I do the levitate around the ball. Basically you want to try and stay within this circle right here, and driving around it too will really help you a lot. Trying to like maintain it is harder than it looks. Maintain like the white line of this circle. But as far as air practice goes, this little maneuver here, trying to stay in the air within the white line and maneuver around the circle, doing that for about like 5 to 10 minutes, and will really help you. I do dribbles, regular car dribbles like this, and to really perfect it, sometimes I'll take it along the walls here, along the side of my car. You always want to try and dribble on top of your car with the ball cam off, so you can just see it easier. Otherwise it's going to be really hard to try and, like, the ball cam is all over the place trying to chase the ball around. So try and keep it on the side here on top of your car. If you can see, there's a little circle. Try and keep your car within the circle, and then after you get good at it enough, it'll be muscle memory. You can sort of just keep the ball on you like that and go around the map, and then eventually you won't need the balls, and you can just keep it on your head and sort of drive around these pillars in a circle. And if you get really, really good, which I haven't even gotten good at yet, this is prestigious practice for doing figure 8s with the ball on your head through the pillars. There's
Trash.
Fuck you, Jeff, you're trash. But anyway, sorry for the interruption about that. I'll get over to the freaking game now, but that's really the only drills I run here. Other than that, I'll run like end to ends. So from goal to goal, you want to try and go like sort of like either in and out like this and stay in the air, and then hit or land on the backboard here, or hit the post right there. And you can really just try and mix it up. Go either in and out to each one, like so, or off the wall to each side, like so. Always try and land on your wheels unless you're trying to, you know, get the nose bump if that's easier for you. Eventually do try and make your recoveries though on your wheels. Harder version of this is if you just go for the in and out, and then you try and do the in and out. Really, you want to try and get, like, ideally the top of the friggin' thing and then all the way down in. You're going to try and land like right there and come in. So yeah, those are the drills that I run on here. I'll show Charles a little bit more, but as far as just covering the basics, a quick run through if you need to remember and see anything else, then I'll go into it in more detail here in a minute. So I'm going back to the main menu to get him into this and show him a few things.
Hell yeah.
First and foremost, I have a couple of questions for you.
Alright.
The first being, do you have an air roll bound? And
Why
or
are you so trash out
and
the
free-
game?
Oh my God, Jeff, shut up, I can't hear.
Just kidding.
Just kidding, love you. Don't make me drag your ass in here too.
I agree in both directions. Matt.
Do you? Nice. You can come in and learn if you want to. I'll invite you. If not, that's fine. You can just watch this if you give a shit about it. If you don't, it's fine too. Play with your ass later tonight. I don't see you online anyway, so. Alright, so play. Charles, this one is for you and also for anybody who wants to see what I was talking about as far as, like, you said you wanted to learn how to play in slow-mo. So,
Yeah.
I just showed my drills in this video that I'm going to send to the group. I showed the mini things. I'll show you in a little more detail, but for the sake of getting to where you specifically wanted to get, I'm going to show you how to get the best version of what you can get on PlayStation compared to what you were talking about, the Bacchus mod slow-mo.
Fuck yeah.
So what you're going to want to do is go to private match here, create private match, and then soccer, no bots, obviously. Arena, you can do any arena if you want to get to where I was earlier in the video showing where I do most of my practice. It's this map right here, Pillars. You're going to want to come down to the mutator settings, and right here you can see on the right side where it says selected mutators. I already have match length unlimited, and max score I got to change that, boost amount unlimited. But we're going to put the max score also to unlimited just in case we hit the ball around on accident. And we're going to put the respawn time to disable goal reset. And the reasons for that is you don't want to run out of time if you want to practice this however much. You don't want to have a goal limit in case you hit the ball into the goal, so that way the game won't automatically end on you. And then you can practice these drills with friends or in slow-mo. This is the only way to do it, is in a private match. And you're going to want to hit the respawn time delay, because when you hit the ball in the goal, it will reset you every time, the 3-2-1 kickoff. You don't want to have that keep happening. You just want to keep moving along, and this will keep everything nice and smooth. Those are the only 4 mutators you should have: is match length unlimited, max score unlimited, boost amount unlimited, respawn time, disable goal reset. And we'll just create match. And team size 4v4. It doesn't matter if you want your friends to be in it with you, otherwise they're not going to be able to join. I put it at 4v4 because it allows the max people to join just whenever. It doesn't matter what team you join. Once we get past the initial kickoffs, goals and shit like that aren't going to matter.
Oh shit, what the hell are these?
These are the
ball
pillars.
gonna bounce?
Yeah, ball's going to bounce.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, crap. That's right. I didn't quite... Hang on. Let's leave the match real quick.
Alright.
I'm an idiot. I forgot to do one last thing with that. For your slow-mo, there is a couple more mutators you have to do. It has to be ball bounciness. I think it's default bounciness is what you want. Ball physics should be light though. Ball size normal. Boost strength is normal. Gravity should be low. So I think the only thing that you change is ball physics light and then gravity low. Hi.
Alright.
That's my kid. You might not have to do ball physics light. I think you can probably just do a default, but I'm doing it low just to be safe because I think that's how I remember doing it. No, wait, fuck! Hang on, leave the match one more time. I just saw that there was one more thing that I forgot to fucking change. God damn, I haven't done this in so long.
This is good. Not something you utilize as much when you...
Mutator settings. Okay, so game speed. Here we go. There it is, right there. Slow-mo game speed. You might not have to do gravity low, and you might not have to do ball physics light, but the way that I used to practice it is I used to do the ball physics light and gravity low to help with this, but I think slow-mo really just gets you there. I think that's really the only thing you actually have to change. So, but I'm going to do it the way I usually do it, was with the light ball physics and the slow-mo play. I gotta kind of feel around to remember, because again, I haven't done slow-mo in a while. If you get fucked up by me just like bantering around back and forth and fucking up all my friggin' sets and shit like that, you can just copy the settings here on the right at the start of the match. Ta-da!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it really is like...
Yep, it's extremely slow-mo. If you're having trouble with mechanics as far as like figuring out the way your car positions and travels and shit like that, this is the way to go. Is low grav and slow-mo at least, and then I put ball to light because I think it pops pretty easy and stays up for a while. So you can get your air dribbles and shit like that really going.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is so sick.
If you get annoyed with the ball, by the way, and like you're trying to do like the drills that I was starting to showcase at the beginning of this map, and you want to just kind of put the ball back to center, all you got to do is score it, and then it'll just reset itself.
It's so sick. I'm so happy with it.
But yeah, I'm gonna score it real quick just because I want to show you a little more what I was talking about at the beginning. But you said you had a couple air rolls bound, right?
Yep.
Okay. So now that we're in slow-mo, it'll actually be easy for you to see. Just make sure you kind of keep an eye on me real quick. I'm going to show you what I usually do, what I was talking about at the beginning of this map. So these are the pillars map, and this is the map where we don't have rings. This is what will really help you kind of improve pretty quick. Is you want to try and, like, as I was explaining earlier, I do it like with ball cam on and off like 5 or 6 times, figure 8 through the map. And I'll do that, you know, with no air roll, and then I'll do it, you know, with free air roll, and then my air roll left, and then my air roll right. Just to really try and round out my air roll stuff and stuff like that. Is you want to try and like levitate through these pillars in, you know, the figure 8 motion. And the way I actually got any good at my air roll stuff is I did the bare minimum of this for like maybe like 5 minutes a day of just warming up, doing my figure 8s. I used to be like peak C2, and that's when I was doing more practice and I was like getting way better and I had more time on my hands when I was putting more effort into the practice that I was just explaining, where I'll air roll around these in a figure 8 like 5 or 10 times per each set of things. I'll call them a set. And so I'll do one set of no air rolling around the map figure 8 with ball cam on, and then I'll do like another set figure 8ing with my ball cam off, and then I'll do another set ball cam on with, you know, one of the air rolls, and then ball cam off, and then repeat the process for each, you know, thing I have bound. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And then just for the sake of keeping this video short, if you want to just like land real quick and come over here to the middle. So this little ring around the ball right here, this, it's good for like ground control to practice, like, you know, getting your car, keeping it on the line. It's a little bit harder than it seems to keep it like exactly on the white line as you're going around. You might have to like incorporate a couple taps of your like drift just to stay on the line, but that's just like one little drill. If you're concerned about like aerial practice though, something that'll get you really, really good at aerial practice besides the figure eights that I was doing is if you try and maintain your car above the white line and just feather float around the circle here as close as you can to maintaining the white line as possible. You can either, I don't think it really matters if you do it with ball cam on or off, but it's very, very hard to do it with ball cam off, I'll let you know that. There's probably a benefit to doing it with ball cam off if you can maintain it, but it's really hard to see the white line if you don't use ball cam for this, so that's just a drill you can do, is to maintain this white circle in either direction with either air roll, and do that as many times as you feel like you're getting the hang of it. I usually do it about like, you know, 10 laps. I don't do it too many times.
Trouble like keeping my car upright.
Trouble keeping it upright?
Like I can really, but I don't
like
know
this?
how to change direction, like while also spinning.
So for this, where I'm doing this part right here, that's where it's gonna get this drill, and obviously the figure eights too. That's gonna get you a lot more used to the changing direction and stuff, especially this one right here, because you have to like pretty much tap your air roll, either free or directional, to maintain this circular motion. But as far as like changing direction goes, do you prefer to use like
Free. I use my free air roll more than any.
free? Okay, so
I do have access to the other one. I feel more in control of my car with the free air roll.
That's fine, and you can. What a lot of people do is they'll main one air roll, either directional or free, and then they'll use specific adjustments with the other air rolls. So like, I use my left air roll pretty much for everything, and then I use micro adjustments in certain aspects like wave dashes or flip cancels and speed flips. I'll use like my free air roll because it's attached to my drift, and a lot of those things you also have to be like landing while drifting, so like having your free air roll attached to your drift really allows you to do so much. Like you pretty much have to have your free air roll attached to your drift button, or your drift attached to your free air roll button, whatever you feel like more comfortable with, because if you think about it, you're not drifting while you're air rolling anyway, and you're not air rolling while you're drifting, so might as well have them on the same button. And when you do, that allows you to do a lot of like really quick like jump and directional changes while you're like, if you're trying to like commit to a save backwards, right? This ball gets like shot over your head and you're chasing it down. I can't catch up to it obviously, but if you're chasing it down and you gotta like quickly turn around, you like drift and jump, you can change directions while you're doing that at the same time. But so anyway, like a lot of people will like main one and then use the other one for micro corrections. So just for example, like I explained some of my micro corrections with like my free air roll, and then my left air roll is really where a lot of my air control comes from, a lot of my air rolling and spinning and stuff like that. And my right air roll I really only use for when like I'm jumping off of like the right sided wall and I need to like quickly like change to the other way. Like if you're on the
That's how I use my left air roll. When I jump off a wall, I use my left. When I need to more stuff, I use my free.
Oh yeah, you can use either. The ability to use any of them and know when to use them though is preferred. It's what'll get you like, I'll say lazily, because that's what I do. I don't have a lot of time, so I like lazily do like the little things that'll help me like get good quick, quote unquote. And so if you can like really just sort of get used to using each thing in specific scenarios, you can get better quicker. And if you can master them, you'll be like obviously insane. But if you can really just get used to like feeling how to pull away from your main comfort, what you rely on, and train your weaknesses, like your weak side air roll, or if you're weak on air roll directional in general, if you really work on that while honing what you are comfortable at, then it'll give you a lot more of a skill pool and stuff to search from when you're like training and games and stuff like that. But there are some mechanics, I'll let you know, that are impossible to do if you don't have a directional air roll bound. And one of those, half flip, you can, I think, do it without directional air roll, but it's very, very hard. I think most people don't do the half flip without it. But no, the tornado spin is actually an impossibility. And the tornado spin really helps you maintain and do like a lot of things. Like tornado spin is a must if you ever are going to learn it. I don't know it yet, so I haven't really bothered, but I do use the tornado spin for a lot of like this. This is tornado spin. It's air rolling while your car is also spinning in a direction, and that helps you with like quickly getting adjusted or turned in air. And it's something it's I think necessary. It's really necessary to like know like a directional air roll and the tornado spin and stuff like that. It's an essential mechanic for like when you are getting accustomed to making really tight, difficult, quick saves or shots, or going out for really fast aerials and you need quick directional changes. So like the tornado spin.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. And so
I totally get it now. I see why that's beneficial.
So like, for example, right now I use air roll left, and so the opposite will be true if you use the other air roll thing. So because I use air roll left in order to perform a tornado spin, I have to hold my joystick to the right to perform this motion. And what that does mid-air is if your car is pointing up and then you tornado spin, you can see that the nose of your car will change direction. So that allows you to change direction mid-air is by doing this tornado spin. And you obviously pull off of it with your joystick as you get corrected to the direction you want to go. So right now, I'm just freely spinning through the air, and I'm going straight, right? I'm going as I was directed, but my tornado spin now, if I hold it, will take me that direction. And then if I hold it again, it'll take me back the other way I came if I want to go that way. And then I can just correct myself mid-air again. And then if I want to turn mid-air again, I'll hold my joystick and let's say I want to go back to the middle. Tornado spin back to the middle. And if I want to go like right, I'll hold my stick left because I'm using air roll left. And if I want to go left, I'll hold right. So like, it's not really something that you can explain so much as like you see it, you hear about it, and then you have to get used to it, and then you'll immediately know what I'm talking about. Especially if you perform it in like slow motion like this, you really get the hang of it. But for you, I would say look at the drills that I mentioned here, practice the routines, practice your air rolls, and really train an air roll directional, and try and get used to, if you can, using drift and air roll on the same button.
Alright.
If you haven't already, absolutely take your camera shake off and try and pick look up like I would say an RLCS Pro. Like a lot of people use like Zen settings and stuff, and see if you like.
Magic settings.
You have your settings you like?
I have the settings set to what Magic uses.
Oh, he uses Zen settings just like I do. Okay. Alright, oh, you're good then. But for anybody else watching this, if you pick like an RLCS Pro, just kind of like type into Google RLCS Pros 2024 or whatever, then you just kind of look up their settings, then you can decide if you want to just like practice with those. And that's what pretty much everybody does. They sort of pick somebody and they explore from there. The default settings are absolute horrible, and figuring them out on your own is also kind of tedious. So just really, it behoove you to pick a professional settings, because not because you're going to be as good as them as soon as you get the settings down, but because they've already figured out what the ideal settings are to use to view the field and everything like that. There are micro adjustments, but the range for everybody's settings, I'll just go over them really quick right here, just cover everything sort of in one short vid, is for distance, pretty much everybody goes between 250 and 270. For field of view, a lot of people go between 106 and 110. For height, I've seen people go to 80 or 100, sometimes 110. For angle, I see people go between -2 and -5. For stiffness, I see people go between 0.35 to 0.7. For swivel speed, swivel speed and transition speed sort of like to each his own. That's just how you can handle the camera. Swivel speed is when you use your right stick to look around. It's however you determine how you like the speed of the camera moving around. And transition speed is triangle on and off if you're using PlayStation. To snap to the ball, snap off. If you have it set to high, it's going to snap real fast. I have it set pretty low, so that way in transition when I'm snapping on and off the ball, I can sort of get a quick view of the field like that and what's around my surroundings before. That's why I don't have it set to snap back and forth. I have it sort of slow, so that way I don't have to like do my right stick all the time. I can just sort of like press triangle and it'll sort of do that same motion for me. As far as the controls here go, I can go over my buttons. That's really less important. That's going to be your own comfortability. But a lot of people usually use like the 1 point-ish range to start. So like I started off at like 1.3 and 1.2. That was squishy settings back in the day. 1.5 and 1.5 is the one I use now. That's like Zen's range. And typically you want to have your steering sensitivity, aerial sensitivity the same. This is one of those things, unlike the camera settings, where all these settings really range a lot, like variably to how you prefer them, as far as at least the sensitivities go. I recommend, and pros recommend, that you keep your aerial and steering on the same sensitivity, and that you start out within the 1 point range, and then you incrementally, like every week or so, or however often you practice, try and like crank it up to like a half a tenth, and then your goal should be to increase your sensitivity. I'm kind of comfortable leaving it where it is. I don't really care to change it. That's just me. I do fuck around with it now and again, but what you'll also want to keep in mind is, depending on what car body you use, you're going to want to try and like look up like pros that use the car body. So like earlier today I was using the Dominus for the first time. I don't like it, I suck with it, but I wanted to try and get good at it, so I know that if I type into Google search pros who use Dominus, you can find people like Cash and Gimmick, and you can find their settings, and a lot of this stuff is adjusted to how they play that. Not a lot of people play those car bodies and stuff like that, so looking at somebody who knows the car and is really good with it and taking their settings into account, and me not liking the car, it made it so much easier for me. Stuff like that just made it so much easier for me. But that's another note. Besides that, if you'll go through like controller dead zone, a lot of people go between 0.5 and 0.1. You don't really go anywhere else, like lower or higher. I don't see anybody who does anyways. I mean, I guess you could, but nobody does. It's just not a good setting to fuck with beyond that. Dodge dead zone, I've seen people go between 0.5 and 0.7, like I have it here. Again, you can do like anything beyond, but those two things are really the only like ranged variables that stay sort of the same, and the rest is just hogwash. It doesn't really matter. My bindings real quick though, in case anybody's interested. I'll just scroll through here, go all the way down to the bottom, and again, if it's too fast, you can, if anybody's interested watching, slow down, pause it, go through it, take a look. I have an attachment underneath my controller that gives me 2 extra triggers to use. So I have L1, R1, L2, R2, and then I have the 2 triggers beneath that, which I've bound to the buttons square and circle. So as you're looking through these settings, if you look through them, just keep that in mind. And that's how they all sort of function in unison. You're gonna have to adjust like pretty much everything in the settings menu here with button bindings if you want to try and match mine and do the same thing. Otherwise it's not going to work out, but you do really have to like make sure you match everything, or some buttons are going to conflict and stuff like that, and you'll know what you did wrong if you didn't do it.
PP.
Also PP Jeff, yes, I know PP, yes, PP.
Pee-pee.
But anyways, I think I'm gonna end it right about there as far as this video goes. I pretty much covered everything that anybody needs to know. I didn't want to drag it on too much longer than this. You can come back through here and see what you need to see, and if you want some personal coaching, you specifically, Charles. One more thing that I will tell you is if ever I don't care. I do it for free. I have time. I'm not going to charge anybody or anything like that. But when you end a match, so like when this match ends, or like any match really, like if you're playing online by yourself, it'll give you the option to press L3, I think, in the bottom corner when the match ends to save replay, and then you can just name the replay, and you can just like name it like replay 1, replay 2, or kicks replay, and then like put a date on it or something. And if you want like specific coaching for things like, hey, what am I doing wrong here? What am I doing wrong here? And there's like a game mode you really want to focus on, and you want to get better at one game mode, I can coach you in different game modes. So the same coaching, it won't apply to every person, and it also won't apply to every game mode. So if you save a replay in ones, it will be pretty applicable to most game modes, but it won't be the same. It won't give you any insight on rotation and stuff like that, really. So you'll just have to keep in mind that, you know, like, hey, he told me this in this game, but it's fucking me up in this mode, and, you know, he's a piece of shit, he lied to me. No, just keep in mind that, like, if you save a replay for me, just write the mode type, so that way I know, and then, like, the date on it, and then just, like, send it to me, and obviously I'll know it's you. Anybody else watching this, just sort of, like, leave your gamer tag or your Epic account tag in a PM that you send to me. Through my YouTube. You can get a hold of me on YouTube like this. My Epic over here on the top right corner that you can see, and that's my PSN above it. You can send me a message on PSN, you can send me a message through YouTube, it doesn't really matter. If you do save replays for me, again, just follow that criteria, you know, the mode, the, whatever the hell else I just said there, and the date, and all that shit. And then I'll go through it, and I'll focus on you and specifically what applies to you in each mode that you go through that you want to improve in. And I'm only champ. I don't pretend that I know everything in this game. I do know more mentally about the game than I am proficient at it, if that makes sense. So I can coach better than I can play, and that's just due to, like, I don't put enough time in, like, at all. I don't. But if you want to, and you know, you want to get better, or at least as good as this, it's pretty freaking easy to get here. I play almost never as far as like practice goes. I just go straight into games. So if I made it to champ pretty quickly just doing that and pretty much never practicing. So if you want to get to champ at least pretty quick, there you go. And if you want to get further than that, all you got to do is put in just a little extra effort and practice and probably watch a few extra things. But this is all just sort of, you know, the average Joe's, you know, 5-minute a day course to get to champ, like in like a month. It'd probably get you there in a month if you do this.
Oh, man.
And with that, I bid you all a farewell, and I'll be streaming later on today. Enjoy the rest of your night, morning, day, whatever time it is you're watching. Peace.
Later, guys.